CW
We
West
want him
Texas.
to come home. Let somebody help you. Let somebody help you. Don't be stubborn. Just let somebody help you get you home.
And our heart goes out to him because we want him home.
We want him to know that nobody's angry, to come home.
A 73-year-old man from Brazos County has been missing for the last 3 days. His last known whereabouts were in Midland. In just a few minutes, we've got more on Troy Luce's conditions, what he was wearing the last time he was seen, and how his family has been able to know where he is. Thanks for joining us for CBS7 News on the CW, and thanks to those of you joining us live on the CBS7 YouTube. I'm Laura Munt, and we start tonight tracking crime. According to the Midland County Sheriff's Office, this man, 36-year-old Daniel Rico, was arrested after he allegedly shot a man in the face. MCSO says that officers were called to 1200 North County Road 1081 for a disturbance with weapons. It was there that they found the man injured. An investigation led officers to find Daniel Rico, who's been booked into the Midland County Sheriff's Office and charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon for causing serious bodily injury. The victim was taken to Midland Memorial Hospital and is in stable condition. And on Sunday, the Amber Alert Network of the Brazos Valley issued an endangered missing alert for Troy Luce, a 73-year-old man with a cognitive impairment disorder. Yesterday, Luce was seen in Midland, 6 hours west of where he was last seen in Bryan, Texas. Relying on strangers and his debit card pings, the family has been able to track Troy's location. Saturday night at around 9 p.m., his card pinged in Cross Plains at a gas station. And yesterday, it pinged in Midland, where he was last seen at around 12:30 in the afternoon. But it's now been over 24 hours since the last confirmed time anyone has seen or heard from Troy.
It's frustrating and heartbreaking knowing he was in that area and we had family so close that couldn't catch up.
Number one, be calm, be reassuring to the person, let them know that, that you're worried about their safety. Don't be confrontational, or, I would even say make sudden movements or, say we're calling the police or, things like that could really alarm that person that's living with, cognitive decline or dementia.
The family says if you come across Troy, some things that may get his attention are calling by his name Troy or Papa. Troy also may take interest in you if you suggest going fishing. You can also call your local police station to make them aware of his presence. We're going to take a pause now and talk your weather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Tom Teefer-Teller. Tom, how's it looking out there?
Well, it's a pretty quiet evening across the area, a lot less quiet. I should say it's more quiet than what it was this time yesterday. Taking a look at the satellite and radar view, our attention is turning to New Mexico. There have been a few thunderstorms back up in these locations here, moving off to the south and east. I don't think it's going to hold together before it moves into West Texas, so I think we're going to keep things pretty quiet tonight. We saw temperatures back into the lower 90s across the Permian Basin, but look at the triple digits. Wink and Pecos, 105 in Presidio, 111 down at Rio Grande Village, and triple digits over towards the Dryden area too. Currently, we're still hanging on to the lower 80s out there to the lower 90s still across portions of the western Permian Basin into the Trans-Pecos as humidity levels are coming back up. A little uncomfortable across the Permian Basin with those 50% humidity levels, and those east winds to northeast winds continue to bring in just a touch of moisture, so it's going to be a little milder overnight tonight, only around 70 on the overnight low. Hotter and drier conditions are on the way. We'll talk about that in Father's Day weekend here in a minute or two.
Thank you, Tom. Across West Texas now, we're still following the Sanderson relief efforts for you. Grand Falls Royalty ISD made a donation to Sanderson today. The district collected resources like food, water bottles, and sports drinks from the community to take and drop off. And some environmental news for you. Some MISD students are putting aside crosstown rivalries to work together and improve our local environment. This is all because of a summer program being put on by the I-20 Wildlife Preserve's Conservation Job Court. The 8 students are 17-year-olds from Legacy, Midland High, and some of the Young Women's Leadership Academy. This summer, they'll learn all about different environments across the state of Texas.
We had to really consider what's going on. Alpine really taught us that
They were more mountainous, so they had a lot more rocky. We're not. We're a lot more hills, and we have a lot more soft soil. So we had to definitely consider all those possibilities.
This program will go on for the rest of the month, and students will get to explore environments in San Antonio, Austin, and Dallas. And some more education news for you. ECISD announced the locations for its new middle school and new career and technical education high schools today. The new middle school will be located on South Tripp Avenue, and the high school will be located on Murphy Street. The properties are a part of the $400 million bond that passed back in November. The schools have been a vision that the district has had for the last several years, and they're now set to become a reality.
These were dreams. We dreamed of building a new career and technical education facility and dreamed of a new middle school in the western part of our county. And then today, after we purchased the property, it's real that we own that property. It is owned by Ector County Independent School District. It is a journey, but today is a big, huge step along that journey.
And we've been talking about it for days now. And we're not going to stop. We're a day away from beginning the second annual Permian Basin All-Star Week. More than 100 graduated seniors get the chance to play or participate in another game. But this time, it's for the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. Football, volleyball, and cheerleading will all return. Golf will be a new addition to the list of events, and members of the FCA are excited to get the festivities started and hope that those who participate can take away lessons in life skills over the next few days.
We're still feeding off the adrenaline rush from last year. It was such a great time for football, cheer, volleyball, even the trainers. So now we added golf this year. So we are super excited to get this week underway and just to see all these kids come in and check in and just to talk to them and love on them. Everyone here is excited. This whole week, we just can't wait to just spend time with you guys and share this Christian message with you.
Events will start on Thursday with golf, and the football game will end the week Saturday evening. If you can't make it to the FCA All-Star Football Game, don't worry. We'll be streaming the whole game live exclusively on KWWT My 30 with play-by-play commentary from our very own sports anchors Jair Brooks Davis and Jensen Young. And as the summer vacation season switches into high gear, more people are opting for shorter vacations closer to home instead of traveling out of state or going abroad. A new survey reveals only 1 in 3 Americans used all of their paid time off last year, and nearly 2/3 feel taking more frequent short vacations would be more restful than going on fewer long vacations. That coincides with the rise of the new trend called day guesting, where people use a hotel or resort facilities like pools and spas and even rooms for just one day.
And I think a lot of that has to do with less of the logistics involved and the often far travel. And they get to just focus on the actual vacation brain that you get when you're experiencing kind of days of escapism, rather than some of the negative externalities associated with planning a longer trip.
In the poll, 85% of Americans said that they feel recharged after taking just one day off. And most Americans only take 1.6 vacations a year. In some more travel news, Southwest Airlines' newest investor is calling for leadership changes. Florida-based company Elliott Investment Management took a $1.9 billion deal stake in the Dallas-based carrier. In a letter, the firm said Southwest's poor execution and leadership's unwillingness to evolve the company have led to disappointing results for shareholders. In recent years, the all-Boeing 737 fleet carrier has suffered massive operational issues. In 2022, Southwest had to cancel more than 16,000 flights during the year-end holiday travel period due to unanticipated operational challenges. Boeing setbacks have also resulted in a pilot hiring freeze. However, in the letter, there was no mention of changing from the 737 jets. And still ahead, a story all new at 9 about one man whose lucky golf shot will serve his family for years to come. The general election is 5 short months away, and as races narrow, high-profile endorsements are more crucial than ever. Tuesday, a group of conservative women got the stamp of approval from a powerful PAC. As Molly Martinez reports, it's all part of an effort to get more GOP women in House seats.
Since EPAC's inception in 2020, the amount of conservative women elected to Congress has gone from 13 to 36. And they say they're not done yet.
Since its founding, EPAC has raised and donated over $10 million for Republican women candidates and shared hundreds of thousands of grassroots donors directly with their campaigns.
EPAC is the brainchild of New York Representative Elise Stefanik, aimed at lifting conservative women onto the national stage. Tuesday, she highlighted a handful of what she calls rising stars in the party. Texas congressional hopeful Myra Flores is one of them.
Well, it's not easy for us women, especially us moms, right, to be in these positions. So we do need all the support.
The women angling for Congress got the chance to share their platforms.
The open border is a national security, 5-alarm fire.
I'm talking to folks who are desperately poor. For the first time in their lives, they have to rely on public assistance. And you talk to them and say, what's your biggest problem? They're terrified of the border.
I encounter parents that are debating on whether they fill their kids' stomachs or they fill their gas tanks.
Representative Stefanik has been recruiting conservative women candidates to Congress since 2018. 11 of the 15 seats that flipped red in 2020 were won by EPAC-endorsed women. In Washington, I'm Molly Martinez.
Well, we are going to be looking at some hot conditions in our forecast through the Father's Day weekend. We'll talk more about that coming up next.
Now, from the CBS7 First Alert Weather Center, here's Chief Meteorologist Tom Tiefertiller.
Well, as we take a look at the satellite and radar view, only thing we're really watching is what's going on in the Sacramento Mountains. A few thunderstorms have popped up there around Ruidoso down towards Cloudcroft and Weed. That is moving off to the southeast. It looks like, though, once it gets off the mountains, it really starts to decrease. So don't expect too much of it to make its way into West Texas tonight. I think we're just about done with any showers or thunder showers as that upper level disturbance moves away and to the east. High pressure back across the western part of the U.S. is really going to start to control our weather, and as it tightens its grip, we're really going to be looking at warmer weather in our forecast. Temperatures flirting with triple digits. Also, I think it's going to dry things out across the area, but here's the reason why we're watching New Mexico a little bit earlier. Have this north-south flow in the upper levels, but nothing really to keep these thunderstorms together and going and making its way into West Texas. So what that means is quiet night. Now, we are seeing the scattered showers and thunder showers across southeast Texas, some flooding around Bridge City, Port Arthur being reported earlier this evening. Some of those scattered showers continue down in the coastal plains there around Victoria, just to the north of Corpus Christi, but we're done here in West Texas as things are really starting to quiet down. Everything's been trailing around this old stationary front, and that's really going to wash out here for tomorrow. So we'll keep more hot weather in our forecast. Highs today, we topped out at 91. The hottest stuff was along the Rio Grande, and the hot spot was Rio Grande Village, 111 degrees. Now, taking a look at that futurecast, we are going to see that east wind continue to bring in some Gulf moisture, so some clouds first thing in the morning for parts of West Texas, but they're going to go away pretty quickly, and then we're going to be back to pretty quiet conditions. An isolated shower, thunder shower possible from the Presidio Valley, Marfa Plateau, north into the Guadalupes coming up for tomorrow afternoon, but they look very isolated. One or two may sneak in across southeast of Mexico, but that looks to be about it across the area. So a little milder overnight tonight, around 70 because of the added humidity across the area, and things look hot tomorrow as we'll see the low to mid 90s out there, still dealing with some of that humidity to make things uncomfortable. Triple digits west of the Pecos River, and it looks like everybody gets in on some of this triple-digit heat Thursday into Flag Day on Friday, and it's going to stay hot for the Father's Day weekend with dry conditions, but if you're doing something outdoors, looking pretty good.
This time it's for real. How the first hole-in-one in the last 30 years is changing one man's life for the next 30. That story is all new at 9, and it's up next. All right, take a look at this. This man behind me, he's not Tiger Woods or Scotty Scheffler. He's a West Texan who won really big by hitting a hole-in-one at Ratliff Ranch Golf Links. For the last 30 years, the Odessa Chamber of Commerce has been hosting their Chamber Challenge Golf Tournament. CBS 7's Isabella Garriga was at the golf course. She joins us now. Isabella.
According to the National Hole-in-One Registry, the odds of the average golfer making a hole-in-one shot are 25,500 to 1. Kyle Wittenbach was that one. 256 golfers competed in a four-man scramble throughout the day for the tournament. Categories for the tournament included first, second, and third places, closest to the pin, and longest drive. As a bonus, there was also a hole-in-one shot open for the chance to win a brand new Ford F-150. Due to bad weather, the car was moved and the sign had been blown down that showed hitting a hole-in-one would provide a brand new car.
I didn't know when I hit the shot that it was for a car. One of the guys on my team said, "You just won a truck." And I was like, okay. And he said, "No, really, you did." And then the witnesses were there and we were like, "So what do we do now?" And they were like, "I don't know." So they started making phone calls and we're like, "Well, you can go look in the hole, it's up there."
With a fifth child due in 5 days, Wittenbach opted out of the brand new F-150 for a Ford Transit Explorer courtesy of Sewell.
So we're like, maybe someday if our family gets big enough, which it's getting big. This is number 5 coming, so.
For Sewell, it was the first time in 10 years they had given out a car to someone who won the hole-in-one shot.
I sat down with Daniel at Sewell and said, "Hey, is there any chance that we can transfer this value over?" And I mean, without hesitation, he's absolutely.
We gave him the option of rather taking the vehicle that was provided at the tournament or choosing one of his own, and he chose a great vehicle for to support his family.
And it was a vehicle that he and his family had always wanted.
And my joke was always that only bad players get hole-in-ones because it's lucky. And now I can't say that anymore. Well, I can, but now I guess I'm bad.
And though you missed your chance this year, registry will open in February to participate in the 2025 Chamber Challenge Golf Tournament for your chance to win a new car or a van for your growing family. Reporting for CBS 7 First Alert News, I'm Isabella Garriga.
Thank you, Isabella. Still ahead, the theme of Disney World's Splash Mountain has been changed. The story of the Princess and the Frog. We'll share a sneak peek of the ride up next. All right, Tom, before we go, we've got a story about a man who ate more hot dogs than anyone for 16 years. But now he's saying no more. Joey Chestnut will not compete in this year's Nathan's famous 4th of July hot dog eating contest. Instead, he's representing a rival brand that sells plant-based hot dogs. Major League Eating doesn't seem pleased with the decision. The organization issued a statement saying that it wanted to let him compete in that new eating contest, but also participate in the Nathan's Showdown. But it doesn't seem like that's going to work out.
I'm just still impressed with the fact that there's Major League Eating.
Major League Eating?
Okay.
I mean, it is so. Major League Eating, Major League Baseball. What else do you want to do at a baseball game rather than sit and eat a hot dog?
That's a lot of hot dogs, but I'm sure he's a
It's too many that I can eat.
Sure, he's a multimillionaire, and
Oh,
I'm sure it's a billion-dollar industry. But anyway, I don't know.
Well, we've got another story for you now. A ride based on Disney's The Princess and the Frog opens to the public on June 28th in Orlando, Florida. It replaces the decades-old Splash Mountain, turning it into Tiana's Bayou Adventure. Park employees and annual pass holders are first up to get previews of the ride. The structure of the log flume ride has not changed, so it's still the same Splash Mountain, but the theme has been completely redone.
That's right, and they're about to inject a lot of money into the Florida park. They're talking about building a 5th park.
Really?
I don't know what the
I've never been to the Florida park. I've been to California, 2 parks. I feel like that's enough park hopping for me. I think I would get really overwhelmed in
Florida. I mean, they've got Animal Kingdom, Epcot, Magic Kingdom.
It's a lot of walking.
Planet Hollywood or whatever that is. And
you might need to eat a lot of hot dogs to keep the energy up
guess
to
so.
go in.
And now's the time to go, supposedly, because it's so darn hot that the crowds are down.
Really?
Yeah.
So go run Splash Mountain a bunch of times to actually cool off from it.
And we're ready for it, because look at the heat that we're going to be dealing with all the way through Flag Day and Father's Day weekend. So looking pretty good for your barbecue for Dad this weekend.
All right. Thanks for joining us for CBS7 News at 9 on the CW. We've got more news coming up tonight at 10.